What's up, guys? I'm recording this on my computer, so hopefully the audio and video is a little bit better than my other ones. All right, so the start of Ranger School. This part 2 is going to be talking about Rap Week and Darby phase. As a disclaimer, you'll have to forgive me. My memory is a little hazy. Actually, had to go on to benning.army.mil to look up the benning phase because I was forgetting a lot of just the order of things. The information I'll give you is readily accessible online. I'm just going to kind of tell you my experience with it. So day 0, we we graduated, everyone that graduated the CERT course, for whether it's CERT for you or whatever your Ranger Prep course is. They'll drive you or fly you to Fort Benning. Benning phase is 21 days. And the first week is called Rap Week. It's like assessment phase, I believe, and that's where all your testing happens, your PT test. So actually, before this, day 0 is just in processing. So when I got there, we just went out, got on the rocks. There was like this little overhang tin shelter over us, and we sat there for a while. I think I took like a 2 or 3 hour nap. It was pretty boring. Then once everyone got there, we all got in lines and started in processing. They divided up into platoons and companies and squads. Well, I don't know if they did squads yet, but yeah, it was. Everyone was talking about, oh, I'm going to try and get in this company because the recycles said that they were super chill. The funny thing about that was the previous cycle, all the recycles were saying Charlie Company was the chillest. It was Candy Charlie. Everybody got a lot of goes. It was super chill. The funny thing or sad thing about that is there's a lot of people that tried to go to Charlie Company. Obviously, they split you up evenly. So Charlie Company, that phase got destroyed. They had a very, very high attrition rate. A lot of people recycled. There were not very many people got goes. So I'm just saying that you don't know. You'll always hear people say, oh, go to this company, it's the easiest, or try to get to this company. Especially people who've been to Darby phase before, before you leave for Ranger School, they'll try and give you advice and tell you, oh, I'm going to try and go to this company or whatever. I don't think it really matters. I don't know if they have a system one way or another, but it's just kind of, you get what you get, and I don't know that there's a big difference. I do know, in my experience, I was in Bravo, and we got smoked pretty hard while everyone else was just chilling. All the other companies were talking about watching us just getting destroyed just within like the first few hours of being assigned to Bravo. I think they had us. Everyone else was told, "Hey, go form up over, by your area." So people just took off. But for us, we all had to throw our bags on our back, line up on the road, and we had to do lunges all the way to our place using the road, which is the longest route to take. And there was, there's guys coming straight from, what is it, the officer academy, brand new lieutenants, that they had all their rucks, all their gear in addition to their bags, and they were struggling. Like, it was rough. but we all got there, and they just started smoking us. And everybody else, we're looking over, and everybody else is just chilling. Um, so I mean, you never know. When you go, Bravo could be chill, and some other companies going crazy. Um, but yeah, so Daisy, that was day zero. Didn't even count. Um, your your first. So let's see. I think day one you have your first thing you start out with is the PT test. So that's you've got to do 49 push-ups, 59 sit-ups, a 5-mile run in under 40 minutes, and 6 chin-ups. Um, and man, that all goes by pretty quick. Uh, there's right after that is the combat water survival assessment test at Victory Pond. So you just go to Victory Pond, and it's so weird thinking about this because it felt like that span was like a week, but it was 24 hours. It's crazy, but um, yeah, you go to Victory Pond. They march you to Victory Pond, and um, you just stand in lines and go up on the course, and it's just basically making sure that you're not going to wimp out, and you're going to know how to swim, or at least, I mean, you've got a life jacket on. You don't even have to know how to swim, really. You can't freak out because you're walking on some pretty high beams. I don't know exactly how high it was, but it felt pretty high when you're up there. These big old platforms with beams over Victory Pond, and then you get to the end of it, and you hang off this big rope, and you have to wait. Like ask permission to drop. You have to hit the sign, and then ask permission to drop, and then the ranger, the RI, will give you permission to drop, and then you'll drop into the water, and then swim to shore or whatever, and then do some other one other thing. I don't remember exactly what report. You got to report to the RI. It was pretty simple, straightforward, but I think there's probably videos online of people doing it. Um, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of heights, so it made me nervous, but it was doable. I mean, nothing too crazy. But I mean, some people quit there just because, I don't know, they just got too much in their head and think that they could, climb the ladder and walk across the beams and all that. Even though realistically, you're not really in that any danger. You're just gonna fall into the water. So, but yeah, then I think there's a ruck march at some point. But before that, there's land nav. Funny story. So my land nav, you start at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that. You do a night into day land nav, and I've never been the best at land nav, but with my 18 X-ray experience, I'd had a lot of really good instructions with land nav. Some really great instructors just really breaking down land nav and teaching it to us. So I understood the basics of it. I went through the course. I think you had to get 4 out of 5 points, maybe. I got my 4 out of 5 points. I went to the talk or whatever, turned in my score sheet. They checked it out. They said, "You're good to go. You got to go at the station." I left, and everyone else that failed had to retest, and they had to keep their rate. You had to like do your radios a certain way on your camelback, and or not radios, but these tracking devices, whatever, for land nav. There's certain things that you had to do. Well, I took mine all off, and I was going to get some extra sleep because I had to get up as early as everyone else to do that retest. I was pretty excited. Well, like an hour before we had to go to bed, they called off everyone that was going to have to retest, and they called my name. And I was like, what's going on? I gotta go. And well, apparently somewhere something got mixed up, and they'd written my name down, saying that I didn't get to go, and someone else who was expecting to have to do it again because they were told they failed, their name wasn't on the list. So somehow me and this guy's name got switched, but so I had to go retest it. I passed a second time, but I was pretty upset because I had to do that land down course twice, and I didn't get that extra sleep. Um, then yeah, it's there's like a confidence course in the worm pit. Um, and then the day 4, you'll do the 12-mile foot march, the ruck. Um, and I think the average online, it says the average weight is 47 pounds. I don't know if that's how accurate that was. If it felt more, but even by day 4, you're tired. I think that was the first day you only got one MRE too. So man, cutting your rations in half from 2 MREs a day to 1 MRE a day when you're having a 12-mile ruck was rough too. So after wrap week, usually you've lost about 50% of your class, and then the Darby phase begins. That's where you go out into the field and you start learning. Oh, one more thing. There's different tests. Sorry, in the wrap week, I know that we did like tests on your clearing weapons, laying down claymores, all the stuff that you're going to learn in CERT. You're going to test that. So just make sure you're paying attention because there's not really a lot of time to study those things. Make sure you know how to do it, because once you get to Ranger School, you won't have time to really study a lot of those skills. They'll just tell you what you have to do, and then they'll expect you to be able to perform it. And then you go, after you've done the ruck march, done all your testing, your PT test, all that stuff. Wrap week's done with. You go to the field. I think there's like a mud confidence course, which was pretty. It wasn't bad. It was just your clothes got muddy, which you're out in the field for your first day. Your clothes are disgusting. That's rough. So you kind of just bag those clothes up in a trash bag and then use your other uniforms. You're pretty much living out of your ruck. I think they let us that first night. They let us get into our bags, so all your bags are like loaded up into a truck, and you won't have access to them except for like on the weekends. So like Saturday and Sunday, they have like a resupply day where everybody can get to their bag and swap stuff out. So you got to just have everything you need in your ruck pretty much, and you're living out of that. In the first week, you're pretty much just learning. You're learning how to do your tactics. That you're starting off on just a squad and team level tactics, reacting to contact, and just all these different battle drills. And then you go out and you practice some, and that's the first week of Darby. If you're airborne, you actually jump into a field. It's not in Darby, but you'll jump. I know some guys that were a lot smarter than me, and they lost their jump papers, so they didn't have to jump, and they got to chill and just drive into Camp Darby. Would have been nice, I have to say, especially by mountains in Florida. You really don't feel like jumping. But if you're worried about jump pay, it might be important to do that. Kind of up to you, I guess. Yeah, so after the first week of Darby, you got all your training, you got your practices, then you go into that testing. Everybody usually gets about 2 looks. So look being where you're a squad leader or a team leader. Those are the 2 graded positions in Darby, and you'll go out on a patrol, and you should have some recycles in your class, and they'll kind of give you a heads up of what to expect. Really embrace those guys. My first Darby phase, I got to the end, and I got 2 no-goes. I had to recycle, and I was pretty salty about it, but it was really good for me. I spent that week, about a week and a half, just reading, studying. I was pretty rough because you still don't have, in Darby, you don't have a cell phone if you recycle. It's probably one of the worst phases to recycle as far as how you're treated as a student. You're just kind of treated like garbage. You don't have any any free time. Well, you do have free time. You just don't have anything to do with it. There's like a phone. You get phone privileges for a little bit at the evening as long as you have like a phone card. Um, they'll tell you how you can sign up for a phone card or whatever. I believe before you go, but if not, I think they'll give you a chance to do it when you get there. Um, and you'll be able to call home, tell them, hey, I'm getting recycled. My new graduation dates, yada yada yada, whatever. And every night you'll just get in line and try and call home, and usually only get a few minutes because there's a huge line of people and whatever. And I know we had 4 phones, and half the time, like 1 or 2 of them was broken. So it was long. You'd wait for like an hour, get a 10-minute phone call, and maybe if you're lucky, you could get in the back of the line and get another one. But it was really good for me. I got a chance to read a book called The Culture Code. I highly recommend that if you are interested in team building in any way. Or definitely if you're going to Ranger School, I think it really gives you a good idea of how to approach team building. I know it really gave me some tools. So my second time through, I got reinserted into Darby, and oh man, we were just able to really bring together a strong team. We got really, really close, and we went straight through with most of the original guys. Um, it was a super strong team, and I was really proud to go through with them. Develop some really good relationships, um, and that's really what it's kind of you have to learn is you got to learn to build a very close, tight knit team. Because if you don't have the utmost trust in the guys next to you, if you don't have that solid team where people genuinely care about each other, then when you're exhausted and tired, the guys won't put out the level of effort that you need to get your go. And I definitely saw, definitely on my first time through, we guys guys didn't care about each other. And when it came time for someone to be in a team leader or squad leader position, they didn't get their go because people weren't paying attention. They were falling asleep. They weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing because they just didn't care. So that's one thing I would, if you get nothing else from this, learn how to motivate people, learn how to genuinely like build a team, get people to care about each other, because that's going to be that's going to be your bread and butter in Ranger School. So that's all I have. Next video, I guess I'll go into mountains.